No, I mean this is definitely that's 100% silk, 100%. Yeah, this is all right. I know this is dope. Yeah, I just got this. I mean, it's a little change of pace, a little bit. You know, over. Hey, all right. Welcome everybody. I am David Wilson. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show. Pre-game. Here with me, David Wilson, Business Savage. No, that's good thing we're warming up, Steve. All right, let's get everything going. Let's try that again. We got about 15 minutes to showtime. Let's try that again. Hey, I'm welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. Welcome to Network Like a Savage Season 4 pregame show. All right, testing sound. Those of you who are joining us, this is before the show at 3 p.m. Eastern, live on IBGR.Network. I'm testing sound, we're testing lighting, making sure everything is good. So a round of applause if everything is good. Okay, what's so funny? Oh, wait a minute. See, all this stuff happens behind the scenes. We make it look easy. We make it look real easy. Okay, because you'd be shocked. See, okay. So today's show is going to be about networking. So the whole theme of oh wait, let me put my banner up. The whole theme of this season is networking, right? So the theme is network like a savage, and that's what we're going to be talking about this season. Network like a savage. So we get everything ready for the show. Today's episode, let's see what we got. See what we can do. Well, yeah. See what we can do. This is about networking, a networking guide for introverts. And you know, when I wrote, hold on, let me get it real quick. So I wrote this book, gosh, going on about 6-7 years ago. I hate networking events, and my intent was, and this is available on Amazon and on IHateNetworkingEvents.com. The intent was not to do what I think I may have done, and what I was told by a lot of people was that I actually wrote an in-person networking manual for introverts, because you know, learning about introverts and who I am and what I'm not and what have you. It's very interesting to know like what people go through, what people think while they're out networking. Hold on, I need to pull up the station. I'm a little bit behind. Okay. All right. And come to find out that this was like the perfect book for introverted networkers. And we're going to talk on the show today. Where's my notes? We're going to talk on the show today about being introverted. And by the end of the show, all you introverts who may be listening are going to have some tips. You're going to have some pointers. You're going to have a plan so that you can comfortably network. Now, it's a good thing I'm pretty adaptable, right? Because I wrote this show in February of 2020, and that was before, you know, all the COVID and whatnot. So this was all for in-person networking. We were networking in person, and now we're not. Now we're not. What I found though is that we're facing the same types of challenges, whether we are in person or we are not. We're digital. So digital, it could be Zoom, it could be digital, it could be electronic. So networking, we don't have to see each other's faces. So we do have Zoom. Yes, this is true. But it doesn't have to be Zoom. It could be LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a form of networking. So we're gonna talk about that. Let me make sure I have all this set up. And so there's that. Okay, good. And we're going to talk about. There's always going to be a shift. So there's a savvy shift that we're going to talk about, and what introverts need to do. We're going to talk in the first segment how introverts can become extroverts. That's a little teaser. Okay, so make sure you tune in and how introverts. Oh, a whole bunch of people left. I'm just kidding. But you should tune in, because it's not what you think. It's not what you think. We'll talk a little bit about the types of people we see out networking. It doesn't matter if you're in person or if you're in a Zoom room or what's Google Meet room, right? So that doesn't make a difference. What else do we have? You're going to learn what you are supposed to say. So I'm gonna show you what to say when you are networking, if you are a little bit on the introverted side or you are a heavy introvert. And then in the fourth segment, we're going to talk about what to do to actually control this whole process. Because I'll tell you, there's a myth about extroverts. There's a myth about networking. We'll go over that in the first segment. That, well, I don't want to give it away, but you would be surprised at what people are feeling when they are networking. So we're going to talk about that. 7 minutes to live. Sound is good. Steve, we're good. Okay. In-house manager Steve Namin Eufemi. Steve is in the house. Okay, he's ready to go. So excited. It's going to be a good show today. For those of you who are watching, thank you. I appreciate you jumping on. It's going to be a fun show. It's been fun going live visually as well as on the radio with IBGR. So that's always a good thing. Yes. So this gives you an opportunity to see what's going on behind the scenes, see what's going on as I'm preparing for the show to go live. It's not what you think. I kind of make it look easy, and I know I do. I make it look easy, and you're probably thinking to yourselves, "Wow, he puts in so much." No, no, I do. Okay. So I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm not winging it at all, at least not this season. I'm not winging it. So. Well, I shouldn't have, okay. But anyway. All right. So show notes are in the post. So the post that you're watching on, whether you're watching, so we are live on IBGR's channels, the IBGR channel on Facebook and on YouTube. We're live on the All Things David Wilson YouTube channel, All Things David Wilson Facebook. We're live on Fund You Up's Facebook page. Where else? Periscope, Twitter. That's David Wilson's Periscope Twitter. Like I'm the Rock. Like it's on David Wilson's Twitter page. So it's on Periscope. And I think that covers everything. Oh, and the Business Savage. So DW the Business Savage on Facebook. I don't know why that was funny. Steve, but you just testing it. Okay, cool. No problem. 5 minutes to live. All right. what I was going to say is, I know you're watching, but make sure you are interacting. You can interact with me here, right in the comments. You can interact with me in the IBGR community. So go to the community. There's on-air talent there, other folks with shows. There's of course you can interact with me, David Wilson, the Business Savage. Right? Just look for, just search for me, and you can join my group, and we can chat, and you can ask questions. You can ask questions from other on-air talents. On-air talents, is that right? That's like mother-in-laws, right? It's like on-air. I think that's right. On-air talents. And get your questions answered. We have tons of experience in business. We can give you tips. There's free stuff, there's paid stuff, there's coaching, there's networking, all that, all in IBGR community. Make sure you download the app. Just go to Android for your Android phone or your Apple phone. Go to search in the store for IBGR. So IBGR. Just looking at my time here. Okay, 3 minutes to live. Okay. And you can listen to us in the palm of your hand, wherever you want to go, wherever you go. Make sure you look in the link in the post here. You can subscribe to my podcast. The podcast, the No Nonsense Market Domination podcast, is all of the shows, all the radio shows. So you can download that. Should have done a better job here. Hang on a second. Let me just make some quick notes so I don't lose my place. See, I do have notes, so I'm not totally just 3, 4. Okay, that'll work. So really, really what I do is I like to have a framework. So the show notes provide the framework for the show. That really gives me my skeleton, my style. I'm going to have that skeleton. I'm going to follow that skeleton 1 minute, 1:30 to live. I'm going to follow that skeleton, and then you might get comments along the way. Something may hit me. A squirrel might run across the screen or something. But we're going to stay within that framework. So I actually like that. That's a little tip from behind the scenes. All right. In a moment here, we're going to go to Avatar live while we prepare to go live on radio. Okay, check, savvy. All right, good to go. Yes, good. Okay, so about 1 minute to live. And we're all set. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me and Steve. And we're ready to go. So I will see you in just a moment. All right, see you in segment 1. All right, 1 minute to live. Then we will create the best outcomes for our clients and in turn generate the best return on the market investment. So that is why today's show is important, because we're going to talk about how these two teams should work together. And after this very short break, we'll get back to you and talk about it. What's that? What's wrong? 3 cheers for the introverts. Hip, hip. I said hip, hip. Hip, hip. 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 That well. Guess we got some work to do, but at least we are in the right place and we are on the right show. So let's go ahead and change the world. You ready? Say my name, Savvy. Let's go. Good afternoon, David Wilson, Business Savage. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show here on IBGR.Network Profit Radio. Come grow with us. It is a beautiful day here in the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA. So welcome everyone. My in-studio engineer, Steve Namin, you see me? Welcome Steve. All right, Steve's ready to go. Having a great show today. As always, I want to thank our returning listeners. Our returning listeners who are here. Thank you very much for the support. Thanks for coming back. And I want to also thank anyone who is new to IBGR or new to No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show or new to me, Business Savage. Welcome. All right. Great. A lot of energy in the room. Speaking of a lot of energy in the room. So the theme of this season is network like a savage. And I don't want to forget that I just said a lot of energy in the room because that's like the perfect segue. Right? So today's show is networking for introverts. Networking for the people who hate people, the people who don't like being out, the people who don't like talking to new people, the people who just would rather be by themselves. Dare I say, the people who were at least a little bit happy when the lockdown, just a little, because it was like, wow, I don't have to deal with people at all. So this is great. So I started the show, a lot of energy in the room, and that's my understanding of what introverts feel like when extroverts come in the room. One of my favorite extroverts to bust in the room. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. The show called Martin used to come on. Jerome. You always knew when Jerome was in the house because he would be, you just bust through the room. Oh. I said Jerome, and he's just loud. He's just all over the top. As the kids say, he's extra, or he's too much, right? And I can imagine all the introverts are like, oh my God, it's just, what do you do? It's just too, it's because it's too much, right? It's just too much, energy. So first let me say what I am. I can talk a little bit about introverts. I'm not making fun of introverts by any means, because believe it or not, now lean in real close. Believe it or not, Savvy's a little bit of an introvert. I know, just a little, just a little. Now I'm more of like an extrovert, right? So a mix between an extrovert and an introvert. So I can play both sides of the fence there. So my definition is, as long I can be in a room filled with 1,000 people as long as I have my own place to be. Otherwise, I really don't like being in that room. So that's the introverted side of me. The extroverted side is I can exist in that room. And I think that, but when we think of networking, right? When we think of networking, I believe we think of extroverts. We think of Jerome. We think of just the confident guy, the confident lady walking in the room with the powerful handshake and shaking hands. And you know what I've learned over the years is most people really aren't like that. Like I am by no means the gregarious, hey, how you doing, brother Craig? You know, you walk in and slap somebody on the back or the lower back or whatever, and somebody, you know, if somebody does that to me, you know, I'm liable to check for my wallet. You know, I want to make sure that I wasn't pickpocketed, right? So I'm not real comfortable like that. But what I want to tell the introverts today, and we're going to get through this show, and you're going to have a different view on what networking is and what networking can be. I don't care if it's in person. I don't care if it's on Zoom where you can actually see people, or if it's on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, you can't see anyone. It's almost like an introvert's dream. But you know, there's still some things that introverts, those who lean toward being introverted, can do to make that a great experience. The first thing I will say, and I said this in the pregame, so if you ever want to jump on a little bit early, those of you who are listening on the radio, IBGR.Network, we are streaming live also on Facebook. You know, keep IBGR.Network on while you're on Facebook, so we can have both of those going. But what I spoke about was how to change introverts into extroverts. Oh, come on. Stop being so standoffish. Oh, come on, stop being, and all you have to do is loosen up, be a little bit more outgoing, and go network, right? Right. Wrong. No. What I'm going to tell you here is maybe something that no one has ever told you before. See, because extroverts, they want you to change. They want you to be like them, and they want you to be shaking hands and, you know, standing on tables and whatnot, and networking, handing out business cards, or they'll bust into the Zoom room. Hey, everybody, I'm here, and what are we gonna do? Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, you, and some of us are just laying in the cut. That's what I call it, like laying in the cut, and they're just like, yo, what are you doing? What do you are entirely too much right now. Here's what I will tell you. So introverts don't change. Because you don't have to. You don't have to. Either one can network. Either one can network. And I would just say to you, be yourself. Be yourself. If you don't want to talk, now, if you don't want to talk a lot, don't talk a lot. I mean, you're gonna have to say something at some point, right? You're gonna have to say like your name or something like that. But you don't have to conform to that hardcore extroversion, and you don't have to change into being an extrovert. Here's the big takeaway. Here's the big takeaway that I wanted to make sure I covered. And extroverts come across as being super duper confident and I can talk to anybody. But what if I told you that everybody who's networking, whether it's in person, whether it's on Zoom, or even exchanging messages on LinkedIn, is just as anxious as you? What if I told you that they're just as anxious as you because they're meeting new people? They might be in a place that they don't know anyone. They are thinking about what they're going to say. They're thinking about who's going to show up, who's there, who's not. What if I have food in my teeth? What if I have whatever? So it's all the same. So if you can just accept the fact that everybody in the room is just as anxious as you are, everybody behind the keyboard is just as anxious. There's people who are afraid of failure. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of feeling insecure. They're afraid of being told no, what have you. Now you're not alone. You're all in the same boat. You're all in the same boat. And the big mindset shift is going to come in when we come back from the break. My dear AP English teacher from Neptune High School, shout out to the Scarlet Flyers, okay, will be so disappointed when I give you the title of this next segment. So we'll see you on the other side. 7. All right, good segment. All right. That felt good. I should have. I actually should have tagged her. I should have tagged her in this. So Lynn Carhart, if you're out there, and this next segment, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna yell at me, but because I'm gonna dangle a preposition like a mug. But it's gonna be a good segment. This is the big shift for introverts, because this is the savvy shift. And don't let me forget. Don't let me forget to. I need to go over the CTAs also, and I need to talk about savvy shifters. Okay, so make sure we do that. Okay. So we got this new thing. It's a new group. It's a new brand. The Savvy Shifter Society. So that's coming out. That's out now. So we're just polishing that up and making that a reality. So look out for that. Got about a minute to live. So
at Crisp & Co, we work closely with you to get to know your business. Together, we'll build a strategy that communicates your brand.
Okay. So that's it. So next segment, do our CTAs. Here's my right here. Okay, and there's our savvy shift. Okay, we are good to go. All right, we will be live in 30 seconds. Stand by. Stand by to live. Do I have a? Is this my good side? All right, hold on. Enough of that. All right, 15. All right, welcome back to No Nonsense Market Domination here with David Wilson, the business savage on IBGR.Network. Season 4, network like a savage. Yes. All right, we'll dive right in. One of the things I want to drop on you guys. Many of you are watching live, but one of the awesome things about the radio. And, you know, I experienced this growing up. I experienced this as I matured into an adult is, you know, we listen to the radio. And a lot of times if you're in some sort of an office setting, if you're in your car, you listen to the radio and it's kind of in the background. Do that with IBGR. So if you're in a business setting, instead of putting on music, do they have that still? Well, whatever it is, or put on business, like business radio. How can you go wrong being in business and having business radio on in the background? I mean, to be honest with you, it's a heck of a lot better than listening to the news. I mean, that's for sure. So you can learn stuff. You'll hear something. You'll hear what you need to hear if you're listening to the radio in the background. So I wanted to throw that out there. Use IBGR as your background in your office so that you can learn business, you can experience business, you can get business tips, ideas, and you never know what you're going to hear that's going to drive you to that next idea. Okay. All right, my AP English teacher. Next segment is called. Well, here's the shift. Let me just give you the shift. So as introverts, right? We're sometimes a little bit concerned about who's in the room. Oh my gosh, this guy, this lady. Wow, there's so much this. There's so much better than. There's so much. Here's the shift, and if you can keep this in your head, you'll never go wrong. Now this takes some time. I had to go through this coming up. I had an interesting experience working in an emergency room coming through high school, going through high school and college, and I had an experience with a doctor when I was about 17 years old, and he and I got into it, and because I was sitting in a chair, I was doing some work, I got up and he came down and sat in my chair. I was like, excuse me, sir, you're in my chair. He said, I don't care, find another one. So now me, you know, brash, 17-year-old, like savvy in training is like, oh, hold on, wrestler, all of that. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Now I was respectful, but ultimately, he felt as though he was better than me. Everybody was kind of flipping out on me because they're like, "Oh no, you don't talk to doctors like that. Oh, they are." And I was like, "Well, wait a second." I was speaking to my supervisor, and I was like, "I don't understand why I should be kowtowing to him. Not a matter of disrespect, but I was sitting here." I belonged there because I was doing work there, and he just felt like he could simply just take my seat, right? Here's the takeaway that I'm glad I took away from that. And this is where we get into the shift. And that is what I learned was that's our mindset. And the mindset has to be, you look at the show notes, you belong where you're at. See how that preposition is just that at. You belong at where you are, right? No, you belong where you're at. Sounds a lot better. And if we believe that we belong where we're at, So whether we are in a room full of fill in the blank, it doesn't matter. We belong there. Now that takes away all of the anxiety, at least in our head. So if we, but it does take work. We have to commit to that shift, and there has to be. It's about building that up. I had to do that. I had to build that up because that's fairly traumatic for a 17-year-old kid, who thinks who thinks he has some confidence, who thinks he's doing okay, to be what squashed in that manner. And so what I learned was to be I'm there with myself in the room. I'm there with myself in the room, whether it's in person, whether it's in a Zoom room, or whether it's on LinkedIn. So going back to what we spoke about in the first segment, example. So scenario: you don't know anybody. You walk into the Zoom room, you walk into the in-person room, and everybody knows everybody, but nobody knows you, and you don't know anybody. Go back to the shift. You belong where you're at. So you're here for a reason. There aren't any chances. Nothing happens by chance. It's not by mistake that you are here. Now it's just a matter of figuring out why you're here. I can't tell you how many times I went to events. I'm like, why did I come? Why did I come here? There's too many people, and it's just too much. It's overwhelming. One of the things about being an introvert, people drain you, and that's a piece that I definitely experience. People are draining, like to the point where some people have to really lay down and relax and decompress after they go to meetings. And so here's what it's just the energy just becomes very, very overwhelming, can become very, very overwhelming. So here's something that has worked for me that you can take away. Little bit different. So I've tried this in person. I've also tried this in a Zoom. Just make it a point to connect with, depending on the type of event it is, connect with 3 people. So have 3 meaningful conversations and be done with it. Then if you want to, you can leave, and that's it. So 3 meaningful conversations, and if you want to leave after that, just go. That has helped me. That has helped me tremendously to get through events and not be exhausted. Not be exhausted. But once we make that shift, that's the big first step. We're going to talk in the next segment about what to do next, because there's still a lot of fears based on what listeners tell me, readers of the book have told me. There's still, and personal experience, there's still a lot of fears. I remember when I was going through college, I got out of college, and I was always, we just have we carry with us these insecurities. Am I going to be enough? Even once I conquered the I belong where I'm at, I still have to say something, right? So it's like I belong where I'm at, but I'm standing here looking crazy. So now, what is the next step after knowing that you belong where you're at, and that is knowing what to say, and that's knowing what to say, and that comes from, part of it is just the confidence and being comfortable with your offering. We talked in season 3 about your benefit. What benefit are you offering to the world, right? So we need to be able to convey that message. We'll talk after the break about the practice, what we can do to really polish that up and make sure we are prepared for the next event. All right. So before we go to break, when you get a chance, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to, there's a whole bunch of links in your post. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to my podcast. So again, these are all past episodes, as well as this one will be in a podcast form. Click in the link in the post. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about our practice, how to practice and how to polish our pitch. Savvy. All right. Good. Not too bad. Not too bad there. I think once, are we good there? Yeah. So takeaways from the first two segments: be yourself. Don't change. Be yourself, and you belong where you're at. Right. And that's those are the first steps. I don't want to give away the next step. But it starts with just a typical worry that folks have, and it's just a misconception. It's a misconception that we bring to the table. So we'll talk about that. Thank you for all the comments. We definitely see those, and we're having a good show so far. All right, I'm just gonna get a sip of water before we get it going. What happened there? Okay. Oh, I see. Whew. So this is very draining. It's funny because the commitment to being seen is very different than just being on the radio, because like I used to do my radio show like in the bathing suit and whatnot, but now I have to get dressed. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. Okay. What are we? 30 seconds to live. Okay, here we go. Network Like a Savage in 2021. Season 4. Oh boy. right, welcome back. No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Welcome to IBGR.Network, Profit Radio. Come grow with us. One of the things I wanted to tell you, I want to flip through my notes here so I can get the right percentage. I'm proud to be on IBGR. I'm proud to be a part of IBGR. This is we are a startup business radio station. We are in season 4, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be broadcast all over the world to help business owners achieve their goals, change the world, change their businesses, and impact their communities. So that's a great thing. We are currently in, I can't believe this is awesome, 155 out of 195 countries in the world. That's 79% of the world is listening to IBGR. So what an awesome place to be. What an awesome time to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur, when things are changing and things are moving and it is the best time to be in business. So that's just awesome. It's a pleasure to be here. Also a reminder, visit us in the community where you can interact with me, Business Savage, as well as other on-air talent in the community. You can ask questions, you can join groups, and you can join discussions and learn. Remember, we're all learning from each other. So just because we have a million years of experience doing stuff doesn't mean that we're not learning from you as well. So we're all learning from each other. We're all in the same community. So come join us at IBGR.Network in the IBGR. I don't want to say that. It is. Yeah, it is. IBGR.community. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's dig in. Let's dig deep into the third segment. But the whole second segment I did wrong. So that wasn't the plan that I had for the second segment. So everything I said was wrong. Now, does that make sense what I just did? Right? First of all, everything I said was wrong. It's like a shocker in and of itself, right? But my whole second segment was wrong. Now, the only way you would have known that, and it wasn't, but follow me. The only way you would have known that is because I told you, right? So if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't have known any different. So that was cool. Watch how I did that. What I hear a lot from folks when they're networking in terms of fear is, I am afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing. Well, what's in my response? Well, what's the wrong thing? Well, I'm going to say something stupid and then they're going to laugh at me or whatnot. Well, unless you tell them it's the wrong thing, it can't be the wrong thing, right? So don't tell them. Here, go back to the beginning. Remember, everybody's just a little bit too, some more than others, right? But everybody's at least a little bit. I don't care what they say. All right. I don't care, big bad cool guy comes in chewing a gum, he's still susceptible to saying something stupid, right? So don't let him fool you into thinking that he's not at least thinking about that on some level. So if we accept those two things. Number one, everybody's a little bit anxious. Number two, Last segment. You belong where you're at. So now it's just a matter of kind of knowing that you can't say anything wrong. You can't say anything wrong unless you tell people that it's wrong. Okay. By the time we're done, my goal is that you'll be comfortable. You'll be comfortable. And if you walk with me during this season, each show, I'm thinking back to past seasons. Each show actually builds on the show before. Season 4. No, really. Really, I'm getting better. It all makes sense. Trust me. But each little step prepares us for the next. Okay, so I mentioned in segment 2 about practice. About practice. We're talking about practice. Not the networking event. Not the network. Okay, sorry, that was my Allen Iverson flashback. Sorry about that. Okay. Here's the practice. You should come prepared to be able to speak about your benefit. So be prepared to speak about your benefit, speak about your goal. Here's a couple of examples. So let's say you are a brand new real estate agent. You are an artist. It doesn't matter. You are looking for employment. Be prepared to speak on that. I mentioned, so in I Hate Networking Events, that's the title. That's the title of the show, of this particular show. It's also the title of my book. Sometimes we overcomplicate what we need to be doing when we're networking. So I don't know what to say when I walk into the room. I don't know what to do. Watch this, and I want you to take out your notebooks, take them, and write this down. Ready? Just say hi. Just say hi. Just say hi. Everybody is there for the same reason. So everybody's a little bit anxious. Just say hi. Hi, my name is David. Start there, and it's real simple. I mean, if your name is David. If your name's not David, use your name. But hi, my name is your name is what you want to say. And then just engage. And just engage. And it's simple. It's simple. It may not be easy at first, but it is simple. Hi, I'm David. What's your name? My name's Steve. Sorry. My name's Steve. Now, here's the rehearsal. Invariably, and I don't know, there was probably like some networking school back in, I don't know, back in the 50s or something. It's like the obligatory next question. There's probably a book, the obligatory next question. And the obligatory next question is, so what do you do? All right, so just be prepared to answer that question. And I help businesses get funding when traditional bank financing is not available. Currently, I'm looking for a new opportunity. I'm an artist looking for the best way to sell my paintings. I'm a brand new real estate agent, and quite honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to meet people. I bet you that would go a long way in a networking event. Just Be honest. Remember, be yourself. Everybody's a little bit anxious. Be yourself. Don't change. And kind of try to have a little bit of fun with it. Try to have a little bit of fun with it. We're gonna come across in our networking efforts folks who are like way more comfortable than we are, and that's just going to happen when we come back from the break in about a minute. Wow, last segment, huh? I'm going to tell you what to do to take control over those interactions, because it seems like we're not in control, but we really are in control. And I'm going to tell you how to be in control, and it's real simple. Once you break that ice and you come across that person who's just super comfortable, seems to know everybody in the room, they asked you what you do, and you tell them. Maybe you go back and say, well, what do you do? And then they tell you, and then it's like that moment. I'm going to tell you what to do in that moment. And if you seize that moment, you're well on your way to exploring possible synergy.
Your CRM making your business grow?
Okay. Lost our connection there. It looks like we are back up and running. And it's live television, folks. All right. So the internet universe, I must have said something crazy and got kicked off real quick. But I think we are good. So we'll wrap up with the last segment. I'm gonna hit our time. Sorry about that, guys. So I can't talk too much right now. We are 30 seconds to live. Had to get our feedback. Not get feedback, but get our feedback, right? So, okay. But I think we are good. All right. 20 seconds to live. Last segment. Let's do it. All right, welcome back. No Nonsense Market Domination Radio Show. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. Network like a savage in 2021. We have an introvert's guide to networking that we are talking about here. And we're going to dive right into the last piece. And this is the last piece you need to kind of take control of your networking efforts, even if you're an introvert. Okay, so we talked about in the last segment about no one knows what you're supposed to say. Practice what you're going to say. Practice being able to talk about what you do, what your benefit is, and whatnot. Remember, the key to networking is engagement. So we want to engage with the people in the room, engage with the people on the platform, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's IBGR, whether it's Facebook, what have you, ultimately to explore possible synergy. So we are looking for ways that we can help each other. That's what networking is all about. It's not about collecting business cards. It's not about collecting names, collecting phone numbers. It's about exploring possible synergies, exploring ways that we can help each other. In my book, I Hate Networking Events, I'm showing it on the internet right now, but on the radio, you can't see it. But in there is something called an EPSM, Exploring Possible Synergies meeting. That's where all of these connections are going. We want to determine during our networking efforts if we should be exploring possible synergies outside of the meeting with an Exploring Possible Synergies meeting, EPSM, and it is trademarked. So I'm just saying. And that will hold up in court. I mean, you just say that I said it. That's all, and then we'll be good to go, right? And then it's all we're all on the same team here. Okay, I told you I was going to tell you what to do to take control of this whole experience once we get to that point of engagement. So what do? Oh, I help businesses get funding when traditional bank financing is not available. What about you? Is the first thing I say to start to get control. Here's the goal. The goal is I think I said it was Steve. So I want Steve talking about what? The one thing. Now this is where introverts rule the world, right? The one thing that Steve loves talking about the most is what? Steve. Steve loves talking about himself. There's nothing wrong with loving to talk about yourself, but you're taking advantage of that. So you want to get Steve to talk. So what do you do, Steve? Oh, wow. I'm a painter, and I paint residential and commercial buildings. Wow. Okay. Now, all I'm trying to do, remember, the name of this segment, question everything. Don't worry, it'll make sense. Question everything. So question everything. It'll all make sense. You want to ask questions. So how did you get into being a painter? I say, well, back when I was a kid and I started, you're gonna get something like that, right? And that's great, that's perfect. And then keep them talking. And what we're doing, this is not disingenuous. This is we're searching and we're listening. We're listening. And we don't have to be the center of attention. All we're doing is listening for what? We're listening for EPSM. We're listening for possible synergies. So remember the 4 things we're listening for. I'm looking for, number 1, maybe Steve can help me. Number 2, maybe Steve can help my clients. Number 3, maybe I can help Steve. Number 4, maybe I can help Steve's clients. And that's it. That's it. As I'm speaking to Steve, that's what I'm listening for. So how long have you been doing that, Steve? Oh, well, I have been a painter for 25 years. I started when I graduated from University of North Carolina. Okay, tick. So now I'm just steadily North Carolina. Okay. And I started the business when I was in college. And wait for him to finish. Okay, well, and a lot of these, there's lots of questions in the book, but some of this is intuitive. Okay, so you're gonna pick up the next question from what they say. Okay, well, so you mentioned residential and commercial. Do you have a specialty, the type of building you like to work on, the type of client you like? And they'll start to talk. Here is a $1 million question, and I love asking this to someone who loves answering it. Now write this down. Here's a huge takeaway. And this is like an introvert's dream, because if you can pull this off consistently, you're going to get all the information you need. Steve, how do I know? So here's one question. How do I recognize the best client, the best potential client for you? And then Steve is going to he's going to answer you. Oh, well, it's going to be someone who owns multiple commercial properties. So I'm writing all this down in my head, right? Multiple commercial properties in different parts of this area we're in. Okay. So ask him a question about his best end user. So who is his best end user? And then ask him a question about his best referral source. Okay, great. Who is the one person that would be great for you to meet that could usually refer you the most business, or who usually refers you the most business? So he might say, oh, that's easy. Real estate agents. Real estate agents refer me the most business. Oh, okay. Now remember earlier, I don't know if we actually connected the fake people like in real life, but earlier we mentioned a brand new real estate agent. So let's say we met that brand new real estate agent earlier on, because we're listening, right? We're not worried about ourselves. 2 things. What are the 2 things we keep in the front of our minds? It always applies. The 2 things we keep in the front of our mind: give and I'm just trying to help. Give and I'm just trying to help. So now we're giving to Steve. You know what, Steve? That's funny, because I met Julie, the real estate agent, earlier. She's here. She's right over there, or she's right up in that square there on the Zoom. She's in that box. And I think she would really be a good connection for you. Would it be okay if I connected you to here? for a quick conversation, and then maybe you can set up something afterwards. What I do. So that was just a hybrid of what? The No Rejection Connection, which you can find at allthingsdavidwilson.com. So that's the script. See, I told you, all of it's I'm doing so much better on the show. All of this stuff is connecting just swimmingly. It's just a beautiful thing. And that's it. So now repeat. Remember, we're going to have 3. We're going to focus on 3 of those connections in every event. When you do 3, and you know what? If 3 is too many, do 2. If 2 is too many, do 1. Commit to something, commit to some number, and with the understanding that once you're done, you can stop. But if you don't want to stop and you want to keep going, just keep going until it's time to stop. And that's it. It's that simple, guys. Now, remember the goal, the Exploring Possible Synergies meeting. Set that meeting. You know, I don't want to take up too much of your time here at this event, here on this Zoom here. Can we schedule a meeting later on to explore possible synergies? Maybe I'll reach out to you next week, and that's the ticket. And guys, that's the formula. That's how it works. I don't care how introverted you are. You now have the tools to make networking more manageable and get the results you need to get. Thank you for joining me. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. We'll see you next time. Thank you. What a ham. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Good show. Let's disconnect the mic. And we are done. All right. Saying thank you to my sound engineer downtown. I think that went pretty well. I know I lost. I know I lost connection. We were able to bring that back. I don't know where you guys lost me. It was somewhere kind of close to the end of segment 3. Somewhere in segment 3, but I think it was pretty much to the end, and I realized I froze. But unfortunately, this is live. The interesting thing, how can I put this? We don't want to sacrifice either medium, right? We don't want to sacrifice the visual versus the audible, or vice versa, unless it's the radio, right? So it's IBGR radio first. So when we're broadcasting live, I need to make sure first and foremost that we are good on the radio. We have more control, and we have a backup. We have a backup that we fell back on. The radio backed up quicker than we did here live visually, and that's it. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of the commitment is to the radio side first. And I even though I was aware that we froze, we're going to keep going on the radio, if that makes sense. And we were able to get back live and get back on visually. So I appreciate the comments coming through, letting me know. And whenever that happens, we're going to get back on as quickly as we can. So that's good. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all for jumping on. Make sure you go to allthingsdavidwilson.com, and you can get me on all socials there. Be on the lookout for the Savvy Shifters Society. So that's going to be something new that we're doing, that kind of connects all of the dots all under one big umbrella. So I'm excited about that. You're hearing about this for the first time. And so, hold on. So be on the lookout. Just be on the lookout on Insta, on Facebook for the drips on that, and what that's gonna be like. It's gonna involve. It's just gonna be the umbrella, the branding for all of the shifts we do, all of the changes we make, all of the and it's going to involve some coaching. It's going to involve long-term coaching, short-term coaching, and all to kind of foster the changes we need to make in our lives for business success, for health success, for personal success. Because all this is connected, right? All this is connected. When business is going well, we want to have a healthy business. We want to have a healthy family. We want to have a healthy life. We want to have a healthy personal life. We want to have a healthy body. And sometimes we just need shifts to get us to where we need to be. So that's the Savvy Shifters Society. That's what that's going to be about. So I'm excited about that. Good show today. Thanks for joining me. We're going to wrap up. That's all I got. So thank you. We will see you next time. Same bat station. No, same bat channel. Same something. I don't know. I've never watched Batman too much. But Wednesday, 3 p.m. So we're going to be live again here. We're going to be live on IBGR.Network. So thank you, everyone. Have a marvelous day. And we'll see you next time.